Hey, welcome to another episode of the Tom Green Farmcast. Today on the show, we have MuchMusic legend Erica M. When I was growing up, Erica M was on TV every day, and she was our source of information about music and pop culture. And we have a really cool conversation today on the Tom Green Farmcast about that legacy and those amazing times in the early years of MuchMusic. Now, the Tom Green Farmcast, just so you know, these are clips taken from the Tom Green Farm, which is my show on Crave. And you can watch that show and listen to it on Crave, but you can listen to it on iHeartRadio here in the form of a farmcast. A farmcast is like a podcast or a broadcast, but from a farm. It's a farmcast. I'm excited for you to check out these outtakes from our interview with Erica M, the great Erica M. Let's have a listen. You basically started out in broadcasting in Toronto at MuchMusic. This was when I first knew of you. When I was a kid growing up, you were a kid on MuchMusic, the #1 VJ on MuchMusic, and this was a big deal at the time. MuchMusic. It was kind of, people know what MuchMusic is today, but
no, people under 38 don't know what MuchMusic was back in the day.
And they don't understand the significance of it, because in the 80s, when I was a kid and you wanted to watch music videos were a new thing. Mm-hmm. And we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have cell phones. So if you wanted to find out what was going on with Michael Jackson
or discover new artists like Blue Rodeo or Tragically Hip.
Right, Canadian artists.
You would tune into the National Music Channel.
Yeah.
That's what it was. We were the voice of Canadian culture. We were a bunch of young people who were not necessarily broadcasters, but we were all fans of music. We had no script. All we had was our passion and our knowledge of music and our own unique personalities. And we told stories every day for 4 hours live. It was unscripted. You, as a stand-up comic, can really understand the art of improv. I didn't understand, actually, until recently that what I was doing back then was improv. Mm-hmm. I knew what videos would be played on my 4-hour shift, so I had information that I had gathered, but the way I started, ended, and told the stories was all improv.
And in some ways, that's kind of the beginning of, what we now see as social media.
100%. What was very different about MuchMusic back in the day was Moses, who was the founder and the boss at MuchMusic. He sort of set the tone. And he told us very early on that the audience was as important as we were. In the past, broadcasters make the decisions and they push the content to you. MuchMusic, as you said, the connection between social media was because it was a conversation where Moses invited the audience into the show as much as possible, the famous windows on 299 Queen Street West, where fans could be a part of the show, or the intimate and interactive shows where people were brought in to be part of the shows.
The windows to the street idea that you're talking about, Moses Znaimer, right?
Yeah.
When he did that, the fact that you could walk by and look into the studio, now that's been replicated on the Today Show, and MTV, of course, did it. That was all copied from MuchMusic.
That's right. Moses was an innovator. He was the one who changed the way newscasts work, because historically, newscast was in a studio and everything was fake. And he started this thing at City TV where newscasters would sit on desks in the middle of a large newsroom.
Yeah.
And that has been replicated all around the world. It's him.
And then, of course, you got to interview, of course, so many incredible artists, legendary artists like Kurt Cobain and Duran Duran, and who did you interview? Who were your biggest interviews? You did Kurt Cobain, though, right?
Kurt Cobain is, I think, it has become sort of my legacy interview.
Mm-hmm. I've seen that one a lot lately.
Yeah. That one has had millions of views on YouTube. And what's interesting, you've made it when your kids come home, they go, "Mom, did you interview Kurt Cobain?"
Yeah.
So their friends had said, "Your mom interviewed Kurt Cobain." They're like, "What?" This is when they were in high school.
At what point in Nirvana's career was that? Was that the beginning? Were they at the peak of their fame?
It was 1993. It was the In Utero album. Mm-hmm. And I remember my boss said, "Come back with something good or you're fucking fired." Mm-hmm. I was like, no pressure. Mm-hmm. So I had to strategize. Like, how am I going to stand out? Because it was a junket. And as you know, junket is the kiss of death for an interviewer because the artist is led from, in my case, hotel room to hotel room. And they're asked the same insipid questions over and over again, and they kind of tune out. So I wanted him in particular to see me as a person, not as mainstream media, because they were not fans of mainstream. So when he walked in the hotel room, I said, "Hey, I'm Erica. Do you want to do the interview in the bed or on the balcony?" And he looked at me like, "Who is this freak?" And went, on the balcony. I went, "Great, let's go." So we just grabbed the camera, set up. We didn't even set up. We just put it on our shoulder and we started talking. And the first question I asked him was, "So what are you reading these days?" And he looked at me like, "What's going on here?" And he wanted to answer that question.
Yeah.
And he talked about the book. And I was like, "Oh, I never read it. What's it about?" "Oh, she's actually listening to my answer. We're going to have a conversation." The questions that I came up with were actually kind of personal, but not prying, but just tell me how you feel about certain things. Or why did you bring a child into the world when all your lyrics are so dark?
I really was a lot more negative and angry and everything else a few years ago, but that had a lot to do with not having a mate, not having a steady girlfriend and stuff like that. So that was one of the main things that was bothering me, that I wouldn't admit at the time, So now that I've found that, the world seems a lot better for some reason, It really does change your attitude about things. 4 years ago I would have said, the classic thing like, how dare someone bring a child into this life? It's completely a terrible way to go, and the world's going to explode any day and stuff like that. But once you fall in love, it's a bit different.
It was actually quite emotional, and he killed himself, like, I think less than 6 months later.
Yeah.
And I was very sad and kind of angry because I didn't understand mental health challenges at the time, but also I felt, my God, there are so many young people who admired him, and I was afraid that they're going to be copycat kids who, would jump off the same bridge, so to speak, with him. And I felt very responsible. So the day that he killed himself, I happened to be on the air. And we made the whole show about talking about mental health challenges. And I understand now how revolutionary that was, because we didn't talk about that. No one talked about suicide and mental health back in those days. But it was a scary time, and I felt a huge responsibility.
Why'd you leave?
I was done. I was old. I was 34. I'd been working there since I was 21.
Yeah.
So it was 13 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I was ready to have a life.
Yeah.
I needed to grow up, and I did. I had a show called Real Life, and I had a show on Discovery Channel. Then I had a couple of kids, and then I started my own company. It was called YMC, or the Yummy Mummy Club, and it became a very important online destination for women with kids who were struggling with the roller coaster ride of motherhood. I built a marketing agency called M&Co, which connected brands to moms. And I invented this thing called influencer marketing back in 2006, 2007.
Sort of sad in a way we don't have that anymore. MuchMusic.
Oh, yeah, no, it is very
with
sad.
This sort of all-encompassing sort of universal reach.
Oh, I agree. Well, just in general, culture is very splintered now. So that's why we're having so many problems culturally and politically, is there aren't the same kind of unifying voices. So people on one side don't understand what people on the other side are doing or talking about, because there's no one person that everybody trusts. I think what you're doing is great, because you're bringing people who I look at the people that you're asking to talk, and you really are attracted to people who are very kind. They're talented, but there's an essence of kindness in there, which it's not surprising that you moved into the country where there is kindness. And so in a way, Tom, you are adding to Canadian culture and reminding people that there's positivity out there.
Yeah, I hope to. Yeah, I like the fact that also people from other parts of the world get to see this part of Canada and think, oh, well, I didn't know Canada had mules.
And not the drug type.
Yeah, I didn't know they had, barns. But
are you different in real life? Like, I've never seen you do your stand-up, but my impression of you is that you're a shit disturber.
My old show was more of a shit disturbing type of show format, pranks and things like this. But I was in my 20s. But in my stand-up, maybe it's a little bit more outrageous for sure.
But you seem like completely down to earth.
Yeah.
So who's the real Tom?
Probably more this is more what I'm generally like, just sort of this conversation. I mean, now, if this was 25 years ago, I might be like, pulling some, throwing cheese around or something, spraying milk bags all over the place and trying to shock. As I get older, the media's changed, and there's so much attempt at shock on the internet now that it's almost weirder to not be shocking. I think this is weird. People tune in, they see me talking to Erica M., and it's a nice conversation full of legitimate discussion points about something interesting, and that might be kind of more of a surprise.
All of our nervous systems are frazzled, and we're looking for sanity now in an insane world. So this is refreshing.
Yeah. That must be sort of a special place that you hold, and a nice feeling to be such a part of Canadian culture, too.
It makes me feel so proud because the reason why I got into MuchMusic was for that. It's to support artists. When I first met Bono, when he was probably the same age as, well, no, I think he was probably 23 and I was 19 or something like that. He played at Club Montreal in Montreal.
Yeah.
And I was DJing at the club, so I went there during their sound check. And I loved the band so much. He was walking up to me. I'm freaking out. And I stopped him. I said, "Hi, I'm Erica." And he goes, "Well, hello, love." We talked a little bit. I said, "I'm a DJ. I love the music industry so much." And he said to me, "You should be in PR," because I was blabbing about the band to him. I was telling him all about you too.
Right.
And it was because of him when he said, "You should be in PR." I went home. I found out what PR meant. I didn't even know what it meant.
Sure.
And I found a course at Ottawa University, which was a communications course. So because of Bono, I ended up going to university at Ottawa U.
And that led you to MuchMusic.
That's right. So Bono changed my life.
Were you nervous when you'd have to interview these big stars?
Here's the interesting thing. As you ask me questions, I'm writing my memoir right now, so I'm thinking a lot about those days. As I mentioned, I really had locked the door to MuchMusic. What I realize now that I was probably disassociating at the time. It was so stressful. I can't begin to tell you the stress I was under because I had no background in broadcasting. I was a 23-year-old that was thrown in to live TV, the entire country watching and judging you. And then bands would show up and they were unpredictable. You never knew who you were going to get. And I don't mean the artist. If Tom was coming in, if Tom Green was coming in, I didn't know if you'd be a fucking asshole or if you would actually answer my questions.
Right.
So I had to be prepared. I needed you to be able to give me the juice that you wouldn't tell anybody else. It was way too stressful for one person.
Yes, it's wild. How did you get people to open up like that in that environment?
Such a good question. I mean, I think kind of what you're doing right now, where you actually, I could see your eyes. You are listening so intensely to everything that I'm saying. So I want to talk to you because I feel like you actually care what I'm saying. That's part of it. Like just being present in the moment. So it becomes a conversation rather than an interrogation.
Right. It's amazing to get to, have the opportunity to talk to Erica M. for crying out loud. I mean, my whole life, I was growing up watching MuchMusic, we were sitting in my kitchen. It's amazing.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, okay.
You watched me on TV. You're sitting across from me.
Yeah.
Am I the person you thought I would be? And if yes, why? Or if no, why not?
Yeah, I think so. I think yes, absolutely, yeah. You're not doing anything completely unexpected here. I mean, you're not, so yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's great. It's too bad we can't go back to a world when MuchMusic was our main source of information and Erica M was our main VJ. I'm lucky to have grown up in that time. So,
well, you're doing it. You're continuing the conversation, and I'm so happy that you're you're asking questions that a lot of people want to know, but you're asking from a point of making the world a kinder place. And to me, that's what I want to do, is I want to use my voice to make the world a better place. And I think that's what you're doing too.
Yeah, and in a Canadian way, home in Canada, and maybe we can do something. Maybe Canada can do something for the world now.
So happy you moved back, because we needed you.
Yeah, it's good to be home. Good to be home. Thanks, Erica.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Awesome. Okay. What a fun interview with the great Erica M. She was so cool. It was pretty neat getting to meet somebody that I grew up watching on TV all the time. It's actually the first time I've ever met Erica M. That's the fun thing about doing this show, the Tom Green Farm, which is my show in Crave, is that I get the opportunity to meet all these amazing Canadians and amazing people, and we get to hang out here at home on my farm, and it's a lot of fun. You know, if you're wondering what's the difference between the Tom Green Farmcast, this show that you're listening to now on iHeartRadio or watching on Crave, and the Tom Green Farm, well, the Tom Green Farm is the full show, so go check that out. In fact, in this episode with Erica M., we also have the legendary Dan Aykroyd. Go watch the Dan Aykroyd episode with Erica M., and I think you're going to really, really have a lot of fun over there. It's actually one of our only winter episodes as well. It's not winter now. You're going to see it looks much colder when you tune into this full episode of the Tom Green Farm. Go check out the show, the full show, over on Crave, and we'll see you next time. This is the Tom Green Farm. It's not the Green Tom Farm. This is my favorite farm because it is my farm. Welcome to the Tom Green Farm. My name is Tom Green. Oh. Here I am in my house out here in rural Ontario, Canada.
Wow.
A house that was built in 1857.
How cool is this?
Where we'll be doing a talk show trying to get Tony Danza.
Your dad can't hear you.
I heard you.
Who's the boss?
I can't hear you, but I can't remember either.
We're trying to get Tony Danza up here. Not in a television studio, but on a farm. There's bears here, yeah.
Do you know in the gay community a bear is a thing?
I didn't know that.
Of course you do.
We're building a ramp for Tony Hawk.
If you build it, we might come.
Interviewing celebrities.
That was just one of the most memorable nights of my life.
That is intense. They look alien.
You had a freaky career.
Freaky?
I'm just falling in love again and again and again today.
Parle français pour 2 minutes.
Sois capable de le faire?
Oh my God.
Allô, toute la gang.
So my friend Dead Mouse.
We've lived off of the land so long as that land was able to sustain us.
There's something very peaceful and magical about the first snowfall.
Driving along the road in the rolling hills, I'm like, I wish I could just run in those fields, but you never really do.
Gets the blood going, huh? Did you go on Conan dressed as a horse?
Centaur.
Come over here for fun and you get your hand bitten off, right?
This is the great joy of my adult life, is getting into horses.
Wow.
And I'm excited about all the people that we're going to present to you.
I know the legacy of Bare Naked Ladies. I know what it means to other people.
Did I intimidate you with my skills?
Yeah.
I'm a seasoned professional.
You've been making television a long time.
Darth Vader's wiener.
Mr. Tom Green, how are you?
I've only been scared on one set.
Cheers.
This is the Tom Green Farm.